Chapter 7. Nations in Transition. I am a singular being. My body is the biosphere of this planet. The human family is my awakening organ of intelligence. The purpose of the 20th century is to facilitate my conscious incarnation. Those who choose to align themselves with the strengthening energy field of my presence, as it grows in influence upon the earth, shall be healed and drawn into the abundance of the age to come. Survival into the third millennium is reserved for the spiritually fit. The key to survival is not competition, but cooperation. Spiritual fitness is not aggression. It is fitting in with the purposes of the earth and with the purposes of her Creator, as these larger purposes blend in human exchange. To the nations of the earth, I make this promise, that if you welcome my intelligence into your decision-making processes, and if your emphasis is on forgiveness and cooperation rather than confrontation, the peoples of your land will experience wealth beyond imagining. And this wealth will not be at the expense of any other, but will contribute to the well-being of all. Let no nation be judged on the basis of its current wealth. Even America is impoverished by the yardstick of tomorrow. Let nations who have not open their hearts, seek my guidance, and ask for my intercession. Wherever I am welcome, I draw those who have invited me up into a new perception. Those nations who welcome my spirit into their affairs will perceive wealth in abundance. They will see that wealth and energy are one and the same. Energy has many specific points of appearance. Human beings have discovered a few of these, but there are many forms of energy that humans have yet to recognize. Every form of energy is a channel through which one source energy flows. I am the source of all energy. Behind all forms of energy, I love. When love is invoked in human affairs, it has a magnetic influence, drawing energy. If the love is sufficient and the need is present, love will create an opening through which the one source energy will flow. At one point during their years of wandering, the children of Israel had sufficient love in the heart of their nation to create the form of energy that they required. The collective attraction of their love at that moment was sufficient to draw water out of the dusty desert rock. Wherever love is in expression, it creates a channel. The one source energy flows through that channel in the most useful form. The earth will never, could never run out of energy. Even in the directions humans have been looking, energy resources are far from exhausted. However, as you rise up to join me in my love and come to share my perception, you will see countless new directions in which to explore for your energies. New directions that will make all the energy humans have consumed since the beginning of time appear as a solitary candle flame by comparison. Just as the Israelites wandering in the desert had sufficient love to create energy where energy was not, so each nation, honoring love, uniting in love, sharing in my perception, can enjoy energy and prosperity in abundance. I want the nations to see as I do. They would quickly lose interest in arguing over the few bits of wealth noticed to date. The wealth of a nation is derived from the love generated by the people of that nation. The abundance that is enjoyed by the people of North America is but the first small hint of the prosperity that all people and all nations will enjoy after the banishment of fear. America's wealth is not derived from her military and commercial policies. In fact, too frequently these policies have limited the abundance that might otherwise have appeared. The blessings that have been showered on the United States of America have appeared for this reason, and for this reason alone. Through the American people, one of the greatest fears of the fallen era, the fear of difference, is being eliminated from collective human consciousness. America is an example to the world, not for superficial government policy, but for the blending of races and peoples that occurs daily on her street corners, in her marketplaces, in her schools, churches, and factories. In the United States, people from historically antagonistic nations have come to live, work, play, and raise their children together. To the degree that they have learned respect and cooperation, America has prospered. The reunion of the tribes is significant, for in the willingness of the once scattered peoples of the earth to join together and to interact as a single nation, it is as though the scattered brushes and magnets of a great electrical generator were being reassembled. The nations of the earth are designed to interact in a manner that creates energy, energy in forms and quantities that you have no present way of comprehending. The greatest block to prosperity is fear, for it obstructs the flow of life itself. Where the currents of my love are restricted, abundance cannot appear. Wherever fear is honored as the source of human motivation, there is always a shortage of energy. Wise as serpents, gentle as doves, those active in my intelligence, flowing in the currents of my love, are taking the time to assist human businesses and governments in the great transfer of authority. Gradually, my intelligence is weaving its way into the logic of the Earth's decision makers. As my presence grows on Earth, I will disrupt no human society, organization, or system that is organized in love. Even military organizations founded in fear have structures and resources in their control that can be reorganized along the lines of love and turned to good purpose. Do not allow the conspicuous military postures of a half-dozen nations to deceive you. I have been working within human societies for many centuries, and I can assure you that your world is far more peaceful today than at any prior time in your history. The emotional climate of the earth is changing. There is a general relaxation of tensions and a growing reluctance to resort to violent solutions. As my consciousness increases upon the earth, more and more people, including many national leaders, are coming to realize that violence is poor survival strategy. Such ones may or may not be able to sense my presence, yet my presence helps them, nevertheless, to see the falsehood of the whole fearful mode of operation. Violence can only occur where there is a lack of intelligence, and daily the field of my creative intelligence strengthens in all who love. Rejoice, my people. I am here among you. My presence enfolds your planet. My life sings even now in the majority of human hearts. Daily, the number of awakened ones grows. There will be no nuclear holocaust. In truth, it was never possible, for no solar activity appears on Earth without my participation. The Earth now has the most intelligent people behind the scenes of its international affairs that it has seen in centuries. They have blind spots and fears yet to release, as do most of you. But if you would work in my consciousness with me, you must accept that some of these are already among my own. There are no dragons to slay, only people. People to be healed, educated, and loved. To the nations of the earth who have investments in armies and armaments, my message is this: have no guilt regarding your military preparedness, for I know how the old world has been, but earnestly now begin the transition. Withdraw your trust from the strength of weapons and invest it in the strength of your Creator. Trust in my presence as you once trusted in your weapons, and I will guarantee security beyond any you can now conceive. If your nation has the military capability to invade others, become a model for all nations. Use your influence to make people less inclined to fear. It is not my wish that any nation should invest in greater military strength, For wherever my intelligence is made welcome, this is not necessary. Still, it is not my wish that all militaries be immediately disbanded. During times of fundamental human transition, disciplined human organizations can be of valuable service. There is no judgment upon any who serve in military forces or who have militaries at their command, provided they pray for my guidance and begin the transition I suggest. Transitional forms can help people in moving from the old world into the new. However, if these forms are to truly serve my purposes, and not simply to be dissolved themselves in the growing strength of my presence, they will have to remain fluid, ever-changing, ever-flowing, ever drawing the people associated with them closer to the currents of my love. Where forms stagnate, they cease to be transitional, and so join the rigid structures of fear, already dissolving, melting, as snows beneath the warming rains of spring. In my presence, peace is not a goal, but the background of all that occurs.